Hey everybody, it's Dina Rico in the Creativity Cave. I have a gorgeous card to share with you today, as well as another project I'll share after I do this. It's really, really cool, and I want to show you how easy it is to make both of these items. So first of all, this card, as you can see, it's got some shimmer, it's got a little crinkly stuff, some printed paper, and some lace, so it's a great shabby chic kind of a card. And I want to show you how easy it is to put this together because it truly is simple. So first of all, I'm going to start to make this card by doing a couple of things. I'm going to use, I'll set this aside. I'm going to use the border image from Summer Silhouettes. This is a fantastic stamp set. I really like this one. And you can see I actually have the label mounted to this. I don't do that too often because they don't stick very well to my blocks, but let me show you a trick. If you huff on it, see, it's a little cloudy, huffy. That helps stick the label to the stamp. Okay, so I'll set that aside and grab my paper. I have a sheet of crumb cake cardstock cut the long way, and I'm going to fold that in half. And the reason I choose the direction I cut my cardstock often has to do with whether or not I'm going to be placing a ribbon around it. So for instance, in this case, to be honest, I originally had it on the folds. You can see I cut this and glued it to the front of a card so that I could tie the ribbon around it. I normally had it cut so that this was the score line before, and then I cut it apart. Does that make sense? Oh my gosh, I can't even say it. Okay, so I'm going to use my crumb cake cardstock, or ink, on the cardstock with my stamped border. And this is so easy to stamp, unless you drop the stamp on your card and stamp it completely crooked, as I have just done. But I think we can make up for it. It'll be okay. Now what I want to do is line up the, line up the little tips of this image on here. And if you don't do it perfect, it's okay, because I'm going to tie the ribbon around to cover that up. And actually, if you look at mine, I'll show you, there's a big gap. So it's okay if you don't have it perfect. Let me tie that ribbon on. Now, this is the Crocheted Trim Venetian. I always want to say Victorian. I don't know why. But I'm just going to tie this on, and whenever I tie ribbon, I tie it off the roll. I never cut pieces as much as I can help it, because that really helps me conserve my ribbon, and I really like to conserve my ribbon, so I have more. It lasts longer. So I'm just going to do a bow, and whenever I do a bow, I like to do it upside down. For some reason, I can tie bows better upside down. I don't know why that is. Maybe there's a scientific principle behind that. If so, I am completely unaware of it. And that is not the best bow I've ever done, but you try tying a bow on camera. It's not easy. Okay, there. That's not half bad. Oh my gosh, and I just jiggled the camera. Sorry. But let's see if we can fix this up a little. No, we're not fixing it. It's not happening. But there. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, I'm going to set that aside. We're done with that for now. Okay, to do the flowers on here, I want to show you how easy it is. I'm going to start with, not that big a punch, my 1 3/4 inch circle. I'm just going to punch one of these. And this was going to be kind of the base for my flower petals. So I have cut 8 of these. I'm using the Bouquet Bigs die. Yes, Bouquet Bigs. And you can see this is a really awesome die. There's all kinds of pieces on here. I used this particular petal as well as this petal, the leaf right here, and then the center stamen thing right here. I'm also going to show you another project where I've used all of these, I didn't use that one, but all of these different petals. And then this is kind of fun. It does some different stuff. It looks like a picket fence I might add too. Okay, so this die does so many different things. And what I love about these Bigs dies, they're the thick ones where you just have plastic on the top and the bottom with your cardstock. is that you can cut a whole bunch of layers at once. So you can cut 3 or 4 layers, probably only 2 or 3 of this because it's kind of intricate, but the rest of these you can cut several layers at once. And I love that because it makes it quick and easy to die cut everything versus one at a time, because that would take forever. I would never make this card if I had to cut each of these petals out once, one at a time. Okay, so on all of my leaves, I'm just going to kind of distress them, if you will. That is a nice fancy term. Oh, whoops. That's a bad one. That's a fancy term for crinkle. And since I just chucked that one, I think I might have to go back and die cut one more, because I think my cardstock slipped when I did that. Oops. Bad Dina. I also like that this die also allows for you to just take scraps of cardstock and then set them, you know, like, so say if I wanted to cut one of these, I could just set this right over and then run it through, and then I could cut this one, or I could cut this piece. So I can cut different pieces in different colors really easy, just laying them on the different areas of the die and then running it through all at once. Okay, so let me cut this. I'll be right back. Okay, so I have all of my petals die cut, and what I want to do now is to take and adhere them to a circle base. So I have a 1 3/4 inch circle that I have pre-cut, and I'm going to kind of cover it in fast fuse so it's good and sticky. And then I'm going to adhere each of these leaves to the circle across from one another. So I will start like so. So there's my first 2. And then I will turn it 90 degrees and do my second. I think I'll even throw a little adhesive right over the top here. And then the little slits will all meet in the very center. This helps keep them evenly spaced around the circle and lined up so that they look good. So I will just put a little bit more on there like so. And you can be kind of generous with the adhesive because you're going to cover this up with the other leaves anyway, so it's no big deal. Okay, I just got a little, there we go, string of adhesive I got to take care of. And finally, I will do these 2. And so what's great is I have a nice circular, evenly spaced flower petal all on here, and it's really nice and flat. It's not thick at all. Okay, next I'm going to add the leaves. I pre-did these. I did them much in the same way where they were touching. I used a smaller circle. I tried it with a larger circle, but I found I didn't space them out very well with the larger circle, and so then they weren't very even. Now I'm going to attach this right on top. I'm not going to add any dimensionals or anything, because with the crumpling they're going to be a little dimensional as they are, and I don't want to get this too thick for when I want to try and put it in the mail. Okay, now I have a couple of these little center stamen thingies, so I'm going to take and place these on there. I will put adhesive right over the center, and it's okay if you don't have it perfect because you're going to cover this up with more stuff. And just center that nicely. And then we're going to kind of mess with this so it's dimensional. So this is all about crumpling and whatnot to get the best possible results. You might have noticed I did a Wink Stella on my lighter color leaves. The colors I'm using are Soft Sky and Lost Lagoon with Very Vanilla, and I think they look gorgeous against my crumb cake background. Okay, then last but not least, I'm going to add a button to the center of this, and I'm using the designer Very Vintage buttons, and these are really cute. They are very vanilla in colors, but I was trying to say they're off-white. They're not white. Okay, so I'll attach this with a glue dot, and you know, I think I'm going to put a couple of glue dots on here just to make sure it's really good and sticky, so it doesn't fall off, because nobody wants a card that has fallen apart on you. And then I'll really spruce up these little stameny things. Okay. Anyway, there is my flower. I think it's so pretty. So I will just adhere this to my card, and that's it. And then I'll add a couple of leaves. So to do that, I'm just going to continue with my fast fuse. I put several kind of layers on there, and then I'm going to attach it like so. And then last but not least, I'm going to take those petals, the leaves, and crumple them up. I die cut these in the typeset printed paper DSP pack. This is like my favorite go-to pack of paper for just about anything. They're really awesome black and white designs. I highly recommend some if you don't have any, and if you do, you should probably just get another one, because I mean, you wouldn't want to run out. That would be a travesty. Isn't that gorgeous? So here I just added a little greeting with my set and many more. Love how beautiful these cards are. Okay, now I also added another project to go with this since I was on a roll using my die. This is a bouquet I made. And you might be thinking to yourself, holy buckets, I bet that took a long time. And it took longer than the card, of course. I mean, I can't lie to you about that, but it really wasn't that bad. I did this flower very much in the same manner as my card. I used the two sizes. Actually, I only used the bigger size of the petals, but I just did several rounds of them, and frankly, it got bigger because I kept filling in. My stamens are out of the printed paper, and I added a button just like before. Now, in between the layers, though, I used glue. Can you see in there the hot glue? And the hot glue is really nice because it does give you some dimension because of the thickness that it takes up. This flower right here is using the largest petal, I think. Nope, it's the medium one. Sorry, I was kidding. And then the center of this is just 3 12-inch by, I think, let's look, by 1 1/4, maybe 1 1/4 inches. And I cut them with the fringe scissor and rolled them up. That's all that is. And same thing here, only I used the largest petal. Now I did try a little something. You can see a couple of these petals are with the faux suede, and I thought, ooh, it would be so cool if I did them all that way, but no, it was taking forever, and I thought I'll never finish this if I do them all that way. Now to put this together, I have this tin, and oops, you can see right there, I have a styrofoam ball and a half. So I cut one in half, and then I have a full one in there. I covered it up with printed paper. You can see in here, I just put printed paper over it to kind of cover it up so that you wouldn't be able to see it, although I didn't do the best job because there it is, but the leaves cover it, so you didn't see that. I'm kidding. But these leaves are not on the die. I free cut these, and before you get all whatever, it is pretty darn easy to free cut a petal like this. You're going to crumple it up anyway, so if it's not perfect, who cares? Anyway, I think this is just so gorgeous. I tied a little ribbon around here, and that's it. It is so pretty. So I hope you like this. I had a heck of a time getting pictures of this on my blog because it's really hard to capture the 3 dimensions of this whole thing. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please go to my blog. All the supplies that I used and everything will be linked, as well as photos of all of these projects. And if you need to purchase anything, please order through my website, thecreativitykave.com. I have a fabulous VIP rewards program, and I would love to welcome you to my program. Thank you guys so much. Happy stamping. Bye.